All right, gang. Wednesday or Thursday. Yes, that's the day today. Thursday, the 5th. Coach's thoughts yet again. Got a middle break day for some, or rest day for some. So gym was a little bit slower than usual, but at the same time, for those who did come in, got in a lot of good work. We had strength and skill to start off with. 4 sets of 4 close grip bench, coupled with heavy wall balls. Turned out to be a little trouble, or a little bit more complicated for some who went heavier. I think they really challenged a lot of people on that. Good job for stepping it up and really trying to fight through and get into a rhythm with that. With those 2 movements, gang, and we're focusing on the bench. For one, first and foremost, we're having a little bit. We've had a few athletes complain and mention about shoulder aches and pains and stuff like that going on. Make sure first and foremost that, especially when we put the additional stuff in there, as far as the Iron Shoulder series, make sure we're hitting that stuff. Also, make sure when you come in early, grab a foam roller, grab some lacrosse balls, grab tennis balls, go and get the bands, work on that, work on your mobility and the stability of it. That's going to help immensely when it comes to saving the shoulder joint. Okay. Also, one thing that we worked on a little bit tonight with the bench press was getting the shoulder set back in the socket. A lot of times what happens, and I think this is maybe one of the things that's kind of a dwelling problem when it comes to shoulder pain, as far as we do, since between the warm-up, between our normal programming and everything else, we program a lot of push-ups in there for all the athletes. So it tends to happen a lot of times when we're doing the push-ups is all of a sudden we're in a good position, we're pushing, and we're all of a sudden stuck, and we get here to push the floor away. All of a sudden the shoulder rounds, all of a sudden we're in a bad position. All of a sudden we look like, you know, the meathead dudes, just all they do is bench press all the time. Bad position for the shoulders. Everything's just exposing that shoulder joint to a little bit more injury. So what we want to focus on is always keeping that shoulder pulled back. Hence the reason for the Iron Shoulder series, as far as getting that shoulder set back and strengthening up that structure around the shoulder joint. So when we're going through bench press or even just through push-ups, really focus on pulling that shoulder blade, pulling the shoulder blades back, pulling your lats together, or squeezing with the lat. And then the same thing as we want to work on with that overhead position is trying to break the bar and get that external rotation. That's going to set the bar and set the shoulder in a much stronger position. So as we're going through is focusing on coming here and back. That's why a lot of times with powerlifters, you'll notice they get that large rounding in the spine off the bench. Now they're not actually lifting their hips up. What they're doing is they're pulling their shoulder blades back so far that it's actually lifting themselves off the bench. So really it's a much better structural position. So kind of focus that as we go on, whether it's with push-ups, whether it's with bench press, it will help save those shoulders and reduce that risk of injury immensely. As far as the WOD goes, had a burner on the legs. The 5 o'clock class came in, had quite a few athletes that were just going head to head. I know the Jeremys came in, Forrest came in, Chris, Jamie. We just had a good group of athletes coming through the door. Tammy knocked out, by the way, Tammy's bear crawls, phenomenal. I'm sure top of the day. She killed everyone and passed everyone every time she got to the bear crawl. Time of the day, or score of the day, goes to Forrest. He was a machine with the burpee pull-up, just down, out, up, constant movement. For the whiteouts there, gang, it was a good point out as far as what we're working by Sarah, as far as getting the feet. It's the same transition as your clean and your snatch. So we went from hip width to shoulder width about 100 times in that workout. So it was good practice for that. It burnt like holy hell, but it was a good way to kind of reiterate that position over and over and over. Overall, gang, awesome job today.
What did Forrest get?
What's that?
What did Forrest get?
5 plus 5. So he just, I think Anna had, what she had, 5 or 4 plus, almost 5.
Yeah.
So he just edged out Anna for the top score of the day, which Anna did it by herself, so that's even more impressive. But Benchmark Friday tomorrow, you have fun with that tomorrow, and I guess see you tomorrow.